Hello friends, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel. My name is Talisha and I also go by CreativiTeeByT, and if you're new to the channel, I welcome you and I hope you consider subscribing, and thank you to all of my returning subscribers for coming back and for your continued support. So today I am excited to share the first completed dress that I made for the summer dress sewing series. If you have not watched the video where I give an overview of the series, I will go ahead and link it in the description box below because it is very detailed and it goes over the patterns and the fabrics that I will use and why. But yes, today's video is the first showing of this series, and I made new look 6618 to kick this series off. This pattern sews up like a dream, and the fabric that I use is absolutely scrumptious. So if you want to hear all about my experience with this pattern and the fabric, and if you want to know why I call it my Joey dress, please continue to watch. So again, this series is titled the Summer Dress Sewing Series, and what that entails is that I'm basically going to be sewing up several dresses that are generally worn in the summer months. So dresses that are like sleeveless or have short sleeves, or in general just kind of like show more skin so that I can keep cool in the hotter months. It is the month of August, and here where I live, August is the hottest month of the year, but right after August, about mid-September, it starts to cool down. So I want to get these dresses made up, and I have a total of 5 dresses that I showed in the introduction series with intentions to make at least 4. I am already working on dress number 2, so you will definitely see that soon. But today we are here to talk about my Joei dress, which is new look 6618. So when picking out patterns for my summer dress sewing series, I wanted to make sure that I had like a variety of styles. I didn't want any of my dresses to look similar because I like different looks for different occasions, or different reasons. And one style of dress that I have been wanting to make that I have not gotten around to is the front tie dress. So when I was going through my patterns, I had a few front tie dress patterns, and some were for woven and some were for knit fabrics. So I felt like I had good options, and after I picked my patterns, I started thinking about what fabrics I wanted to use, and the first fabric that came to mind was this floral knit that was gifted to me by my friend Joey of Joei. This fabric, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful, and it feels so good and soft, and there was just like no way that I was going to be able to let this summer finish out without making something with this gorgeous fabric. I feel that pairing this fabric with this new look pattern 6618 was perfect because it has the front tie look that I was going for, and the length is just perfect because it's not all the way to the floor like a maxi, but it's not too short. And from what I was told by one of the wonderful commenters is that this length is called a T length. So if you didn't know that, now you know as well, because like I said, I didn't know that before. And another reason why I thought it would be perfect to pair with this fabric is because the sleeves were just like perfect for this dress. I didn't necessarily want it sleeveless because I have a sleeveless dress that I'm going to be making, so I was very happy with the sleeve option for this pattern. And yeah, the other reason why is because it's easy to sew. So I am just very pleased to have finished my Joei dress, and now I will go into all of the details with my experience with this pattern and the changes that I made. So again, the pattern number is new look 6618, and the description is Mrs. Dresses in 2 lengths. There are 3 views to this pattern and a belt tie. 2 of the views have the longer length, but the difference is going to be that there's like an option for sleeves or sleeveless, and you can either attach your belt to the dress or you can allow it to be detachable. And another one of the other views is shorter, so it's not too short, it's kind of like knee length. And there is actually a different belt pattern piece that will need to be cut if you're going to use the shorter length dress, and it is shaped differently from the longer version, and I'm assuming it's because of the length difference or whatever. But yeah, so just keep that in mind if you're going to make this pattern. The view that I made is view B, which has the longer length, and I did use the sleeves for my version like I said earlier. So the fabric recommendations are going to be your bamboo knit, interlock, ITY, jersey knit, modal knits, and stretch velvets. And the sewing skill is set as easy, and easy it is. I honestly feel like this is a beginner friendly pattern. Maybe a beginner might not be used to using bias tape to finish like a neckline, but that's not a big deal because honestly you could turn it over and it will work out fine. But I went by the pattern and I used the bias tape. But so yeah, definitely beginner friendly. The notions that you need is going to be your thread, one package of 1/2 inch wide single fold bias tape, and that's going to be for all the views. And then you're also going to need 1 3/8 inch button and 2 inches of elastic cord. The pattern sizing comes in size 8 to 20, and the size that I cut was a size 16, and I am absolutely pleased with that size. Absolutely pleased. And I was a little nervous about it. I have been on the struggle bus with finding my knit size because I don't sew with a lot of knits, but I have a lot of knits in my stash that I need to get rid of, or I shouldn't say get rid of, that I want to use, the beautiful fabrics. So yeah, it's been a goal of mine to find like that right size in knits, and I feel like I have found it for the size that I am looking for, right in the size that I am right now. But looking forward, I feel like I do know how to adjust for my measurements based off of how I got this fit for this dress. My bust size is 46.5 inches, and the finished measurements for the size 18 is 46.5. But as we all know, it stretches and has ease. So that is the reason why I downsized to a size 16, which gives me a finished bust measurement of 44.5. But like I said, it stretches and it looks absolutely great. And I did not use, though, I didn't use a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance because I did size down. So I used a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance because of that. And yeah, I feel like it just turned out great. And I did sew it all up with my serger. And so it just kind of like worked out perfectly because, you know, it just goes so much faster when you're sewing with your serger only. So as far as the pattern pieces, I used the front and the back, the sleeves, and the belt tie. So I only had to use 4 pattern pieces to make this dress. However, you will need to use bias tape to finish your neckline and your armholes if you don't want sleeves, but still, it's not a pattern piece, you're just kind of stitching it on. So I do feel like my dress looks like the pattern envelope, and the instructions were super duper easy to follow. And the things that I liked about this pattern, I love the front tie style of the dress, and I love how short the sleeves look on this pattern. Like they're kind of like, they're not necessarily cap sleeves, but you know, they just have a nice short look and they look perfect with the dress. There was nothing that I disliked about the pattern at all, but the one thing that I did think was strange is the length of the front ties. I just feel like they're too long there because they're like the length of the dress. I don't know if it's because my fabric has a lot of stretch in it or what, but yeah, it's just too long. But I did leave it on my dress the way that it looks just so that you can kind of see it, but I am going to fix that. I'm just going to cut it off, I don't know, maybe about 6 inches. But yeah, other than that, that's the only difference that, you know, is between my dress and what it looks like on the model. But as far as new techniques, I actually did learn a new technique from this easy to sew pattern. This pattern calls for an elastic cord loop, and this is my first time making one, or installing one I should say. It was very simple to do and it looked amazing. until it didn't. The cord I used must have been old because the rubber came out of the thread, so it's coming apart. But like I said, it did look good in the beginning, and I am going to replace it with, and I'll probably replace it with a 1/4 of an inch elastic versus the loop, because I don't want that to happen again. So yes, that was my new technique, and that was my first time experience. And so the fabric, for the fabric that I used, again, I used this gorgeous knit fabric that was sent to me by my friend Joei of Joei. This fabric is so soft and smooth and buttery to touch, and I just love it. I just love it. I love the beautiful flowers in it, and as far as like what type of fabric it is, it kind of reminds me of an ITY, but softer and without the shine or the sheen that ITY has. So yes, I was so pleasantly shocked and surprised when I received this package in the mail, and I was so excited about what I would be able to make with it, because I received a lot of yardage of this. And so yeah, this is what I came up with, this new look 6618 pattern. Like I said, it was a perfect match to use to showcase the different flowers in this fabric and to utilize the amount of fabric that was sent to me. No fabric left behind is my motto. So for the buttons, I did use 1/3/8 inch black button from my Dollar Tree button stash. I'm sure everyone that sews by now knows the Dollar Tree has those little canisters full of random buttons, different colors, different sizes. I just had one of those. I only needed one button, so I just dug through that and picked a button. It worked out, blends right in. As far as alterations or changes, yes, I did not use a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I used a 1/4 inch to make sure that I didn't use up too much fabric or take too much fabric away after going down a size that was recommended. And I used my serger to sew the whole dress minus the belt ties and the bias binding. And yes, I would definitely recommend this dress. I think it's a great pattern. I feel it certainly serves as a beautiful summer classy dress. As far as the availability, this pattern came out in 2019 and it is still available, so you can definitely purchase this at your Joann Fabrics or on the Simplicity website. And as far as my pairings, I just paired it with some bling earrings and my black pumps. So now I will enter a few more pictures and twirls of me in my summer dress sewing series dress number 1. So yes, I think this dress is just adorable, and I have already worn it twice since making it, and I hope you like it too. Joey sent this to me as a gift, and that is why I call this my Joey dress. So please let me know what your thoughts are about this pattern, how you think it looks, in the comment section below, as I would love to hear your thoughts. And I am getting ready to close out this video, but before you leave, please take a pause for the calls and click the like button and the subscribe button and the gray notification bell so that you can be notified of future videos. Stay tuned to the channel because I will be bringing more content, and if you enter the giveaway for the summer vacation sewing series, I will be announcing the winner of that giveaway next Sunday, and Cherie will be too. So definitely want to make sure you check those videos out if you haven't had a chance to catch up on the series. I will put a playlist in the end cards at the end of the video, and in the description box below I will have a link. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of my new and returning subscribers for your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!